by the size of his belly. Okay, he's well compensated for what he does. Yeah. See the star? See the star? This is art. This is an art exhibit. This is a statement of what's taking place. This is conditioning. You don't think so? Look everywhere. See where the star is. It's everywhere. Is that a star? No. It's a pentagram. A star is a sphere. Next slide, please. I have a Wahhabi upbringing and a Jesuit training at Georgetown University. Conditioned. A Gnostic. A leader of Muslims. Educated by the Jesuits and proud of it. Proud of it. I mean, it's bad enough Wahhabi. But a Wahhabi and a Jesuit? You don't get any more fascist than that. Yeah, Boy Scout here. One of the first things that the British did when they took over the Suez Canal, they took over Egypt after the Rothschild Bank bought the Suez Canal, is they made the Egyptian Khedive, the Egyptian king, first Boy Scout in the land. That's what they did. Okay? Are the Jesuits British? No. Georgetown. We'll look at that word a little bit more. Ignatius Loyola, the founder of the Jesuits, the champion of the Catholic action, champion of the Counter-Reformation War. You see where this color red is? This is the color representing the ancient cult of Cain. They have clothed Jesus in it. It is called the Red Brotherhood. It's the serpent cult. The serpent cult of the Danite tribe in northern Syria, northern Israel. It's an ancient cult. So this is what we got. Next slide, please. I want to try and get through this before we finish up. Here's the star. This is on top of the Washington Dome in the house, the White House, the Capitol building. This is an ancient goddess. Here's your pentagram. The initiates decide what statue is going to be placed where. The Gnostics make sure that it gets managed, and these slaves, they put it into position. They serve the lies. The initiates lie, the Gnostics manage the lies, and then the people serve the lies. That's what's taking place. Next slide, please. Magi success, it depends upon public incredulity. That is your disbelief that this wickedness does not exist. All right? They understand positive aspects, the Gnostics do. They willfully choose to manipulate it for selfish gain. There we go. That goes back to Cain. Selfishness. That's at the root of it. Selfish, absolute power. Well, how else can you be selfish unless you have absolute power? You have to satisfy that selfish urge. You have to have absolute power. The man who beats his wife, right? He's doing that for selfish gain, to maintain power and control. This is Nimrod's response to Prophet Abraham. That's what it is. Next slide, please. Okay. Lesser known facts about Jews, Roman Christianity. I have to go through this quickly because I'm running out of time. Synagogue of Satan, Genesis of Christianity. You're Jews but not Jews. The serpent is your father. This is Jesus speaking. Okay? He is a liar, the father of it, from the Gospel of John. Now, the Gospels are not all reliable, but there's some things in the Gospels which are reliable. It's a mixture. You have to know what you're looking for to read them. Now, I want to show you Philo of Alexandria, a Jew. He had a nephew, adopted by Titus, a Roman. This adoption brought the two wealthiest family of the time together. This is the time after the death of Jesus. This nephew, his name was Tiberius, aided Titus in the destruction of Jerusalem. This was a Jew who destroyed his own people as a general of an army. He was a general under General Titus. And then he put Vespasian into war as emperor, 69-79. What happened here is that Vespasian and Basiliscus, an initiate of the cult of Serapis, decided they were going to create a new religion. They were going to take this religion, this old ancient religion, and they were going to make a new one. So here we have, here's our current Pope. This is what they do. This is, inside here they carry the host that they use for communion. They say that that is the body of Jesus and they're going to eat it. They're cannibals. Okay? Next slide, please. Here's Serapis. Here's an early version of Jesus from the 4th, 3rd, and 4th century. They're almost exactly alike. You see? The Romans always created religions. This is what they did at the time. And this is one of the reasons that Christianity came into being in the way that it has been. They took the hero cult and put it behind his head, they just changed his name. He's no longer Serapis, he's the Christus. And Christus was a name that they called their Jesus, son, their Savior, Son, gods anyway. It was a Greek term. So we now have cult emperors, emperor cults. Today we have what is called neo-imperialism, or the Fourth Roman Reich. This is continuation of the same fascist spirit, creating religions, modifying religions, accretion in order to control the people. They create these myths and then they teach them, and people are brought up to believe them. Next slide, please. Emperor Hadrian, in the letter to Council, we have worshippers of the sun god Serapis in Egypt. They were Christians. See? Even the emperor was confused. Who's worshipping Serapis and who's a Christian? He said, well, they're Christians. That's how good the initiates are. They confuse even their own people. Hadrian said, well, none of these, the rulers of the Jewish synagogue, Samaritans, presbyters, who either not astrologer, soothsayer, minister of obscene pleasures, but whether they serve Serapis or Christ, their only real God is money. Money. Next slide, please. People want to talk about the historicity of Christ. I just bring this in. This is one of the few statements that we know outside of the Gospels, outside of the Quran, that lets us know that Jesus actually walked the face of the earth. This is if you took the confirmed historical accounts, you couldn't make much more than a paragraph out of them. That's all that we have. Everything else is myth, except for what is revelatory. We don't know anything else about Jesus, except what the Quran tells us. Now we have a modern version of this ancient God-man cult. Next slide, please. George Washington, Georgetown University. Are you following me? There's a continuum here. Is this modern dress? This is half colonial dress, but this is Roman. Yeah? They made him a God-man. This is painted on the Capitol Dome, where the laws of America are made. You walk into that dome, that's what's at the top there. This painting. This is called the apotheosis. This is what the Roman emperors did. They made themselves into God-men. They made their own apotheosis. Okay? Next slide, please. We have an emperor cult, the Julian Claudian, Flavian, Severin, Constantine's cult. This one in story to Flavian, Antonine. This one gave us the basis for Gnosticism, a new twist. And at the basis of this Gnosticism is homosexuality. It has always been there, from even pre-Roman times. Why? Because their satanic view is that God is male and female. but he's a bisexual. Okay? You take that further, without your feature, you can come into all kinds of very nasty beliefs. And believe me, these people believe them. That's why you have priests raping children, especially little boys, and that's why little boys are sacrificed in satanic altars, especially male infants. It all has to do with this. 7 ancient human sacrificial law, it never went away. It's always been there. Next slide, please. Pontifex Maximus cult today, here it is. Who has that title? Pontifex Maximus is the Pope. Constantine inherited the title. His son Constantius then inherited the title. He said, no, I don't want it. I give it to the Bishop of Rome. So the Bishop of Rome in the 4th century became the Pontifex Maximus. The Pontifex Maximus, who was he? He was the chief high priest of Babylon under Nimrod. At one time, Nimrod was Pontifex Maximus. Now the Pope, he's the chief high priest. Next slide, please. Now, here's something. This is a Muslim prime minister writing to the prime minister of Egypt. I extend our heartiest congratulations on your election, prime minister of your country. Next slide, please. Wishing them all the best. Please, would you please give us some money? All right? You might be aware, my foreign minister will be accompanying the United General Meeting, New York next September. Meeting can be arranged, counterpart levy, We believe through your good office we can get in touch with the Clinton Fund for the purpose of withstanding the onslaught of Islamic fundamentalism. Anybody who follows the Sunnah is a fundamentalist. Here's the Prime Minister asking the Prime Minister of Israel to get in touch with the Clinton people to give him money for his political party so they can maintain control of the people in their country. Does this make any sense? Next slide, please. Cain's connection to the one-eyed Babylonian cult, kings of the earth. Priests of Nimrod were priests of Baal. Priests of Baal. These were mystery religions. Nimrod, great-grandson of Noah, from Cain's dynasty. Ham took a wife, Naamah, the descendant of Cain, and then Cain was also known as Sargon. He built the city known as Emmapar. And this is ancient Acadia. So we know the connection between Nimrod and Cain. And Babylon. We know the connection. Ammon was mythological Ham. Egyptus, the great-great-granddaughter of Prophet Noah, went to Egypt. And they established this Egyptian cult there. They went in the way of Cain. The way of Cain. What is the way of Cain? Human sacrifice and cannibalism. We get the word cannibal from priest of Baal. Khan means priest, Khan Baal. Khan. It's a Persian title they use now for the Shah. Isn't it? They call him Khan. He's a priest of Baal. That's what it is. Human sacrifices were known far back. Akbal, chief prophet, Petar. Who's Peter? They say, oh, Peter was the first bishop of the Catholic Church in Rome. Peter never went to Rome. The Peter that we know from the Gospels never set foot in Rome. But there was a Peter. He was a Babylonian initiate. He used to tell fortunes and sorcery. He was the one that held the keys of the kingdom. You see the keys of the kingdom they have in the papal seal. Keys of the kingdom of heaven and of earth. The Pope says he has it. They come from this Peter. They just found his grave in one of the Petars from the ancient Roman cult in Rome, in the basement someplace, and they're saying that it's the real St. Peter. They're lying. It was this Peter. His title was Petar, or the interpreter of the mysteries. That's who he was. The Catholics are liars, especially their leaders. They're all liars. Next slide, please. Everyone knows the classical story of Cronus, Nimrod, or the Horn One. He ate his children. That's what he did. The one-eyed Cyclops, Cronus. We know that from the historians that they were relatives of Cyclops. They were the priests of Baal, the one-eyed. Here's the connection with Dajjal, the one-eyed. It all has to do with Baal, and Baal is also called Nimrod, Baal is also called Cain. If you read the Gospel of Barnabas, there's a passage in there where Jesus says Baal was once a man whose son set him up as a statue, and he became a god, and then men came and offered sacrifices to him. This is Cain. Next slide, please. There's your one eye. This is a Jesuit gold coin from the 17th century, Germany. They've been dealing with this one eye for a long time. Here it is now in the Orthodox Eastern Church. Here's the pyramid in the one eye. This is Poland, and here's the Queen's coin marching the Crusade 2009 silver coin. Here's the Crusaders' flag. This is the sun god symbol. This is the first Grand Master of the Knights Templar. This is a crusade, people. That's what it is. Next slide, please. Here's the Pope's. Almost done. Almost done. Here's the Pope's cross. Here's the bishop. And here's the one eye, of course, in the sanctuary. This is part of their initiate mysteries. They don't explain this to the people, and if they do, they say, oh, it just represents God. They're liars. Next slide, please. Again, here's our stars. Here's the Temple of Babylon, representing the European Union, along with the pentagram, but it's upside down in its satanic left-hand form. When it's in this shape, it means ruled by the left-hand path. When the point is up, it means ruled by the right-hand path. So here, and this is the crown of the high priest of the new Sanhedrin. That's what it is. It's on the Royal Saudi Army uniform. That's called the tricks. So here we have the bull, the stars, all promoting, this is how, and here's a euro, all promoting their religion to the public. And the public's accepting this, and they're not questioning what it really means. Next slide, please. Okay. I'll just leave that up. You can relieve it. What I'm trying to say here is that this is an ancient crusade. It's gone on from the moment that Cain slew his brother out of selfish envy, out of jealousy, out of greed, and out of just sheer disobedience. Completely anti-fitra. To murder somebody. This is not human nature. This is sub-human nature. That's what it is. He listened to Iblis instead of his fitra. This crusade, this murderous campaign is going on today. We are at war. Not just Muslims, but anyone who is trying to attend to the fitra, that little minuscule dot of divine nature that Allah placed in all of us. Anyone trying to attend to that, they are at war with this system, both the left hand and the right hand path. And this war is getting more pronounced. It's exacerbating, it's growing, it's not getting small. It's a metaphysical as well as a physical war. It's a spiritual as well as a physical war. It's not going to go away until Allah has mercy on us and Isa returns. Okay, with that I will end. And I hope that I've brought this crusade business a little bit closer to reality and give you some ideas that you can work with as you attend to this knowledge yourself. All praise be unto Allah. Wassalam.
I open questions to the floor.
Assalamualaikum. I just don't understand the Khasa. Khasa. Can you spell it to me?
The sister asked about the term Hassa, K-H-A-S-S-A.
Khasa. Khasa is a term, it's an Arabic term that was coined by sociologists in Egypt. It means the ruling class. The Amma refers to the class that is ruled. So the Khasa represents this now famous 1% versus the 99%. Okay, that's all it means.
Next question.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Surinam. I would like to ask if you could tell us what motivates this psychopath, to orchestrate their agenda towards other people, because obviously we only get to live in this physical body for say 100 years at most. Do you think that they are because they are generating multi-generational evil? It goes on for generations. Their institutions that they plan are for hundreds of years, not for 50 years. So obviously, they plan to live forever, or they are controlled by eternal beings. So could you shed a light on that? And then another one is a very quick one. You studied anthroposophy, Steiner's anthroposophy before, right? Rudolf Steiner's anthroposophy.
Yes. I was a member of that cult for 14 years. I know it well.
Yes. Why did you leave it? Because I read a little bit about it. So
yes, I can comment on that. I'm well qualified to do that.
Thank you.